We've seen OG Jordan 1 lows for a while now, but these might be one of the first real OG lows. Ever since 2020, Jordan Brand has been making an effort to take the Jordan 1 back to its original roots by giving us the Jordan 1 85 in the high top version, and in 2021 they also released the Jordan 1 85 neutral gray, which is the first time we got a retro of that shoe since 1985. They've now brought that classic colorway to the low top version of the shoe, and in this video I'll be reviewing the Jordan 1 Low OG 85 neutral gray. So there was a bit of a strange release with this one. It seemed like a few retailers in Europe as well as the US got these a week early, and there should be a wider release in November on the sneakers app. And the retail price for these, well, they're not cheap. The retail is $170 or 170 euros, which is pretty much insane for a pair of Jordan 1 lows. That's even a higher retail than the Travis Scott OG lows. So inflation is absolutely ridiculous right now. But I think what's been pretty clear to see with the Jordan 1 is that we now realize that Jordan Brand simply couldn't keep raising the prices forever and people would still buy the shoes, because nowadays most Jordan 1s don't sell out immediately. They're sitting, and a lot of them, in fact most of them here in Europe, actually even go on sale. At the stores that got these early, there's still quite a few sizes left, so it's pretty safe to assume that when these do get a wider release, it shouldn't be too hard for you guys to cop this shoe if you really want them, which is honestly great. It is a great time to be a sneakerhead right now. Now if you're like me, you're probably wondering, didn't these just come out a couple of years ago? And in fact they did. The Jordan 1 Low neutral gray released back in 2021, and based on some rumors, those sneakers were actually supposed to look like these, but due to the pandemic and people not being able to actually travel to the factories to see the production process, they ended up the way that they did. They were supposed to look much more like an OG low, which honestly I don't know whether or not to believe those rumors, because email did exist even during the pandemic. But either way, even though those sneakers were officially called the Jordan 1 Low OG, there was truly nothing OG about them. The swoosh was too thin, it had a higher ankle collar, and what I liked the least about that pair was the Wings logo at the back. It seemed like it was a shiny Wings logo. But this pair right here is much more true to the OGs. In fact, to me it just looks like the 85 high neutral grays with the top chopped off. They are in fact much closer to that 2015 pair in the same colorway, which is right now reselling for a very high amount. So if you missed out on that pair, this is a great alternative. And let's start off with the box. I don't usually spend too much time talking about boxes, but this one was really interesting to me because it's a very small box. I'm not sure if Nike was maybe trying to save some material for the planet, or if these boxes are closer to the OG box. Either way, I thought it was pretty interesting. You get a white and red box with a shiny red Nike logo, and that logo is in fact actually debossed into the box. And getting into the shoes, well, I know pretty much every review on YouTube is gonna use this word to describe these sneakers, but it has to be said, these are super clean. It's your classic put them on and forget about it shoe. It almost doesn't matter what you wear with these because these are gonna go with any outfit. The 2021 version of these sneakers sold out for that very same reason. It's the type of shoe that pretty much everyone can appreciate. The gray that's used on the swoosh here, which is by the way made out of suede, it's definitely a bit of a lighter gray compared to the OG neutral grays from 1985. And check out the heel with the Wings logo. In my opinion, the logo on this pair looks so much better on the one that came out 2 years ago. And the toe box looks pretty great on this pair as well. It's very identical to the toe box on the neutral gray 85 highs. You'll notice that this mudguard is a bit higher up on the shoe, which is quite different than your 2021 version, which had a lower mudguard and a toe box that was more equivalent to a Nike Dunk rather than an OG Jordan 1 Low. The tongue on this pair is made out of nylon, and you got the Nike Air logo done in neutral gray. Also, we love seeing the shorter tongues on the OG lows. They're just so much better than your GR Jordan 1 lows that have that very long, absurdly long tongue. Another factor that makes these shoes much more of an OG low is the number of lace holes. I counted 8 lace holes on this pair. The neutral grays that came out in 2021 in fact had 7. The Travis Scott OG lows were in fact the only other pair where I noticed they also had the 8 lace holes. Unfortunately, you don't get any extra laces with this pair. It only comes comes with these white laces, which is strange to me, especially when you're asking me to pay $170 for the shoe. The least Jordan Brand can do is throw in at least a couple of extra laces. A gray pair of laces would have been nice, and also some cream laces I think would look good. Let's talk about the leather quality. So when the neutral gray highs came out, I was very excited about that pair, that I in fact paid extra to get that pair early, only to be extremely disappointed with the leather used on that shoe. The leather was super thick to the point where I couldn't even wear them. They were excruciatingly painful to wear. So I ended up selling them, and I was concerned that because this is an 85 low that we would in fact have the same type of leather on this shoe. Thankfully, that's not the case. The leather used on this pair is quite smooth, and most importantly, it's a lot softer. I feel like if you just wear this a couple of times, this type of leather will mold really nicely to your feet. Moving down to the midsole. Now the midsole on this sneaker comes with that pre-aged look. It's done in a sail color. Opinion among Jordan fans seems to be quite split on whether or not they like this whole pre-aged thing that Jordan Brand has been doing for quite a while now with a lot of their sneakers. I'm definitely a fan, however. I think it looks great, and this midsole is also different from the one we saw in 2021, which came with a white midsole. And finally, you have a clean neutral gray outsole on these. Something to pay attention to with this pair is the extra bit of padding around the heel. It does feel quite comfortable, but it does also make quite a difference when it comes to sizing on this pair. In most other OG lows, I think people can agree that you can comfortably go down half a size in those. However, with this pair, I would definitely suggest going true to size, which is what I did on this one. And if you have wider feet, honestly, I would even suggest going up half a size. I got them in my true size. They do feel slightly tight, but I think that after a couple of wears, this leather should mold a little bit better around my feet. So I don't think I'm gonna go a half size up. However, I do think if I had wider feet, I would find these uncomfortable. They definitely feel a lot more snug than my OG lows. Like for example, these feel way more snug to me than the Travis Scott lows. So once again, go true to size for the best fit in these. And here I put on a fit just to give you guys some fit inspiration. Although to be honest, with these sneakers, you don't need much fit inspiration, guys, because it looks okay. It looks great with anything. However, what I've thrown on here is a leather jacket, paired it with a white hoodie, a cream hoodie to kind of match the vintage vibe of the shoe. Threw on some Levi's jeans here, and I also just wanted to add a bit of pop of color, so threw on my vintage Raptors throwback hat here because, you know, let's go Raptors. Before I give you my overall thoughts on this sneaker, make sure you're following me on Instagram. That is the platform where I am the most active, posting on there every day, and I respond to pretty much every DM I get, so that is the best place to contact me. I don't expect these to have any resale. You should be able to get them for retail. Let me know in the comments, are you guys planning on grabbing this pair? In my opinion, this is a shoe that pretty much belongs in everyone's collection. It's a simple white pair of Jordan 1 lows that's gonna look good regardless of what outfit you wear. The leather is great and they feel quite comfortable. Probably the worst thing about this shoe is the retail price, but it is what it is. If you don't think it's worth $170, then don't buy it. However, I still think that because this is a very clean colorway, they are gonna sell out, so if you're expecting to get these on sale, I don't think that's gonna happen. Quick reminder, if you haven't already done so, to please subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me, and while you're at it, make sure you're following me on Instagram, and also check out the sneaker podcast, the Kickback Pod, Apple Music, Spotify. All the links can be found in the description. And thank you guys so much for stopping by and for supporting my channel. I'll catch you guys in the next video.